and welcome to a totally not late at all video. You see, I waited until more cards were revealed about Mysterunes before covering them. This was totally planned, I swear, and not late at all. Just like how Valiant's got a new card revealed in a separate update, but we'll cover that new Valiant spell card first before diving into the Mysterunes cards. Also, quick note, the Labyrinth cards will be in a separate video coming soon. There's quite a lot of reveals to go over before we get to them today. So here is the Valiant's card that wasn't revealed with the rest for some reason, which can search either field spell and send it, which surprisingly, it might just make it usable for the first time. So we won't need to rely on drawing terraforming anymore, and can also be searched through Priestess effect. But it does leave one of your main ways to move cards vulnerable to spell removal. Finally, we can start on Mysterunes, which surprisingly is a mill deck of all things, with every quick play spell having the same last effect to summon a fusion Mysterunes monster from the extra deck. But only to the extra monster zone, but back to the current spell, which allows us to use Mysterunes quick play spells from hand. It does get around any spell removal, for the most part. Although it does mean that if you don't set any quick play spells, and they remove the field spell, you're left with no way to interrupt your opponent's turn within this archetype. The effect to put the Mysterunes quick play spells back in drawing that mana is simply amazing, since it replaces any cards used from hand and recycles them back into the deck. But that doesn't mean you can just throw them out in response to everything. Time your use as well as to not run out when you need them the most. Fortunately, the effect to recycle them is for cost. Next up is Deceit, which every time you use a Mysterunes quick play spell, banishes one from the top of the opponent's deck. These small mills will help assist with the deck out plan, or to remove enough of their key cards to slow down or stop their main game plan, but the fact that they banish to mill can be countered by artifact lands it quite hard for that turn. Next up is one of our main searchers for the deck, fetching one Mysterunes quick play spell, and banishing one card from their deck. Simple, quick, and gets what you need to counter your opponent. Up next is Brilliant Flame, which destroys a special summon monster and banishes to off their deck. From some testing, you want to be careful when you interrupt their combo, since some can potentially keep their combo going regardless, but can force Wandering Griffin Rider to use its negate if you're hoping to nip your opponent's field. Then we have Destruction, one of the key cards in the mirror matcher against any back row heavy deck, and banishes 4, making it one of the highest we can banish from one card so far. And don't worry, we'll be going over the 2 monsters that appear on Destruction's art after the spells have been done first. Good, then I waited because the right-hand side one was only just revealed. The spell is one of our backups to Ash Blossom, for when it comes to disrupting any surge effects, randomly discarding what they added or another combo piece, although is usually used for last effect. Freezing Curse is another combo interrupter that'll work against most decks. Negating and banishing 3 makes this the card you want off pointer, if it's not already in hand before if you're first. But depends on game state if it's good later on to Slumber, which can buy us extra time, either by preventing a card from attacking or protecting our few monsters on field. So we'll most likely be of 3 of, at least so far in testing. Golden Droplets making your opponent draw 1 and banishing 4 can be useful, with Deceit reducing their deck by 6 total. Even better with Deceit in hand to use after possibly discarding the same card they drew or another combo piece in its place, with Deceit in this combo making it 8 cards lost for the opponent. For our last spell, Raging Storm can banish the highest amount of cards, but heavily relies on what your opponent has out at the time. And considering you want to slow their game plan down, this might not hit as many as often as the other spells so far, but can pay off, so play it as at 3 for some big mills. Finally, on to some monsters, our first allowing us to search Deceit at the cost of discarding 1, and will most likely be the first one you summon if you don't have the field spell in hand before. And being able to protect our field spell and Deceit is amazing if they try to use back row removal, which will be one of our main pieces of protection besides our last monster. Also, the 1000 life points at the end of each turn can help last a while longer if they wipe your board clear. Our second Fusion Fangs can fetch back either our field spell or Deceit if it is destroyed, so all hope isn't lost, and being protected from destruction by card effects can be handy. Forcing them to attack into it to clear him off the field carefully bites back since he destroys a monster if destroyed by battle. Overall, he is a good pupper, so play him at 3. And our last fusion gives us a much better way to search our field spell out in exchange for a discard, which you'll be recycling back soon after anyway, and protects from non-targeting destruction. And if she is destroyed, she places herself back into the extra deck, meaning if we run out of fangs or our other fusion, she can still be our defense from direct attacks. But that's all the Mysterunes reveals for now. Who knows, they might reveal some later on like they have so far for this set. Can imagine quite a few duelists getting annoyed at the deck already. Then again, we are in the middle of the adventure engine being thrown into any deck it can be, so just something we have to deal with on top, but Mysterunes can counter them if we know the right cards, since they don't usually use more than 1 Griffin Rider and Draco back in the engine. or just removing a deck's core combo pieces and hope for the best. Overall, I hope you enjoyed me going over the reveals. We'll try and catch up to the rest and might be able to make deck profile video soon. So comment what you think about the deck and what you want to see soon, and subscribe for more. Also thank you to 15.I for the text-to-speech, link to their site in description.